looks huge. Looks huge in the image because it's closer and you're farther. And okay, we're live. Fireside for the first time in a while. Got some stuff to burn off. So here we are burning it off. No beverages. It's Tuesday night. Let's check and make sure it's working. And I'm gonna make sure the audio is working. I expect it is. Well, let's find out. Sue's here. Hello, Sue. Let's see if it's working. Yep, sounds like it's working to me. Love the pink Crocs. Yeah, these aren't mine. These ones. I have pink ones, but they have little jewels in them that the girls made. Create a channel to join the chat. Oh, you're not logged into YouTube, that's why. Oh. So, that's the problem there.
It shows on my things.
Yeah, it just says create a channel, so it just figures that.
Oh, it says me. I'm signed in.
I don't know. It's not working right. Not right. Just put create a channel then. Click create a channel. Error. Error loading this creation form. Try so okay. Okay, I read it. Yeah, okay. Click OK. And then try again.
No, that's what I keep doing. It keeps doing that.
I don't know. It sounds like your phone's broken. You should probably move to Android. No. You reinstalled YouTube. We're having technical glitches with phones. They're such a pain. Half the time I have problems here and there, but again with the pink Crocs. Thanks Samantha and Carrie. Hello Lisa. Scratch Golfer 12. And Sue's here. Maria's here. Great, Jen is back. Can you type?
Yeah.
It works now. I told you so. It wasn't me. It's your phone is iOS. It's iOS is Apple. It's an Apple. It still works though.
I had to switch my accounts.
Well, then you're doing it right now. Awesome. We have some leftover. Well, we got a lot of leftover branches to burn up. So tonight's that evening to make that happen. So, without further ado, let's get started. Got a few people here already. That's nice. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Andrew, hello. I'm going to switch over to questions. But I guess, let's see. Lena. If you guys have been paying attention to the videos, I opened up that back corner for the girls to tool around in, but they're kind of making a mess of it, and they cleared out the grass within probably half a day. Is gone. So it's just dust now. Anyway, so I logged off Peggy because Lena is high horse, and as I was mentioning, the design of that back alleyway is let's just say hindsight's 2020, and as such Lena is sort of a blockage to Peggy, and thought, oh well, give Peggy her own space. But now Lena just sort of hangs out and here. Might as well just show them, right? Let's just get up. Might as well get off my butt and show them. And a little parched, a bit parched. So
I love how you make yourself an easy drink.
Parched at the moment. Okay, let's see here if you guys will be able to see this, but you see, when we were talking about modular paddocks and paddock paradise and stuff, so there's Lena. She's able to get through, and all she does is stand there and stare at Peggy eat, even though she has not one but two hay bags, and she just stands there staring at Peggy. What a goof, eh? How'd you like that if you sit down for some dinner and your friend comes over and you give them their plate on another table, but they come over and they just stare at you and they don't eat their food? Just, she's lonely. No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. I believe that, yeah, you can hear the goats. I believe more that she'd like to have Peggy's food and her food, which is why I've locked her off from being in there. Look at these things. Still growing strong. I know, they're poisonous and stuff, but nobody eats them. They're beautiful. Okay, back to the fire. Here's Zeus, he's here. Guess I can zoom out. Don't touch that, man. I don't know why you're not getting zapped. Just dropped my audio. Did you get zapped? You should have got zapped. Maybe you're not grounded well. It's not that dogs can't get zapped by that stuff, so. Okay, back to our fireplace here. Yeah, so anyway, so Lena goes over there, I believe, so that she could have all of the food, which is kind of what she'd been doing. She did that for about a day, and she kept sort of locking Peggy out of position. And I thought, nah, that won't do, you know. And the funny thing is actually that Lena's been in that position of being locked out of food when the boys and her were together when we first got this place, had them all together, and the boys would lock her out of food, which was sort of sad to watch. She'd get to eat, but not as much as the boys did, and she could stand, always, obviously has no problem losing a little weight. She never did, hasn't lost weight, even despite that, but we ended up getting her own space. And so the same thing with Peggy there. Anyways, so no, I don't believe that she's lonely per se, but she'd like to go eat all of Peggy's food and then come back and eat hers. That's really super common to see. It's crazy common. So, been very busy again, and I say that an awful lot, but we've got some great weather. So I've started up a brand new project. It's going well, but it's taking time to get done. I'm taking video, but I'd rather do a big sort of reveal of that, so I'll wait on that. Overall, everything's going great here. We have one, possibly two horses coming. So I'm also sort of repairing things and fixing up things and making sure everything's organized before that would happen. Just trying to be ready for a full summer, and the usual, just the usual maintenance and care of the horses, training and Zeus and all kinds of stuff. Let me see if Jen's gone away for a minute here, so now I have to pay attention to comments. So yes, everybody, thanks for coming, and Fireside. This has just been part of the maintenance around here, cleaning up some of these. There's piles of, I mean, you've seen how many trees are here, and every one of these trees seems to put down a forest of branches on the ground. And so we clean them up, pile them up, let them dry out, and then it's supposed to rain tonight. I don't know, maybe. It's supposed to be 60% chance of rain, so it's a good opportunity to kind of clean this stuff up. We don't have a fire ban yet, but we probably will. And So Nanko says it's midnight and have to work tomorrow, so can't stay long. Don't worry about that. Sleep when you're dead, as they say. That's what I do. Napping is a hobby. I love napping. Mrs. Roni. I don't know if Lena misses Roni. She has done very well with Peggy. Together, they're great together. They groom. Now she's just staring at her. I had a comment about, speaking of, Sue says the goats. Yeah, the goats. I think they got fed. They're quiet. Anyways, somebody commented about borrowing the neighbor's goats or something to mow up the weeds and stuff. And I wish I had time for something like that, but I wouldn't want to have to babysit the goats and whatnot. Whoa, look at that. Gee whiz, Jen. That is so nice of you.
Oh, I know.
Teresa! Teresa gave money again. What are we going to do with her? She has to come over sometime. Take her to the Black Sheep pub. And they've got some great food there.
Where does Teresa live?
Teresa, where do you live? I can't remember. I think she's... where are you, Teresa? You're in the state. I'm not going to look. I'm going to guess. Where did you say you were from? Somewhere in the States for sure. I think Midwest. Midwest, maybe. Scratch golf. There's Brenda. Hello, Brenda. Oh, you already saw it. Yeah, thank you, Teresa. Yes. Do you have a problem with giant hogweed up there in Canada? Yes, Nanko, we do have a problem with giant hogweed here and there. We don't here. I haven't seen any giant hogweed here, but once in a while, and it's a great question. If we do get it, we actually have to report it, and it has to be dealt with usually by the province or sort of a designated invasive species conservation officer sort of thing. Hogweed is super dangerous. If you guys haven't looked up what giant hogweed is, go look up giant hogweed and you'll be, wow. Trying to eradicate it in New York, good luck with that. Supposedly it's very hard. Hello, Carol. It's raining in Montana. Teresa's from Mississippi.
Oh, so cool.
Yep. 2 S's, 2 I's, 2 P's.
Yeah.
Mississippi, I don't know how you guys in the States, but in Canada, when we have to learn the states and provinces and stuff, and everybody, how do you spell Mississippi? Nobody's from, we obviously don't have a Mississippi around here. So it's like 2 S's, 4 S's, 2 I's, 2 P's, some weird thing. Anyways.
Really?
Did you ever remember having tried to memorize how? Yeah. There's a lot of S's, a lot of P's, a lot of I's. It's a ridiculous word. It's raining in Montana. We're supposed to get rain. I've heard that a lot, quite a few places are getting too much rain, and it's really a pain. The Gulf Coast. Look, I wasn't even close. It wasn't Midwest at all. It's like southeast. Carrie's from Alabama. Brenda's in North Texas. I haven't done a lot of traveling in the States. I've been down the whole West Coast. Drove it. Went to Mexico briefly. Came back up. I've been to the East Coast, over to New York, Toronto. I haven't been any further south than New York. I don't think. What about you?
No,
you
I've
been anywhere in the
always wanted
States?
to go that kind of stuff.
Go to
Georgia and
Georgia?
yeah.
What's in Georgia?
I don't know, just any of those southern states.
Southern states?
I've always wanted
Could have
to
some
go.
fried chicken. We only think of fried chicken when we think southern.
Me, right? Same.
If you've seen the movie Forrest Gump, we consider that the what south end of America looks like or acts like or whatever.
Lots of people love Texas.
Chitlins? What's a chitlin? Somebody says it's chitlin.
Yeah,
is that food?
Chitlins, yeah, it's food. Yeah, food.
It's any good?
I've never had it.
With marshmallows.
Chitlins.
Teresa says they're neighbors. They are neighbors. Yeah. What else can I tell you guys that's going on? Horses are doing just awesome. As you guys have seen with Gracie, she's really coming along. Oh, okay, I'm going to cover a topic that after I finish talking about the update. Luke's still got his sweet itch. I might try to talk about that, but it's really frustrating condition. And it only affects 10% of horses, but he's he's doing a lot of scritchy scratch, and it's hard to manage. So I'll talk about that, but he's getting along. Maria went to high school in Georgia. Fried pig guts. Ugh, that doesn't sound very good.
What? Are you,
That's
I
what
don't know why
chitlins
anyone
are.
would say that. Like, what? How do you know it's not good? You eat bacon. You eat all sorts of parts of
Yeah, but pig guts?
Maybe it's good.
I don't know. Maybe it's good. I guess it's cheap.
I said I'd try it.
Yeah, I might try it. I like bacon.
I mean, I bet it's probably fried up and
Fried up.
all sorts of yummy.
We're from the west of BC, so we suck at southern accents. Even if we said it's fried up.
What? I don't suck.
You just said fried up.
Yeah, but I have a good accent, is what I'm saying. You just said our.
We'd have to
Your
copy.
accent sucks for sure.
I'd have to copy Blake Shelton, I think, if I were to anybody.
Geez.
He'd be.
That's who you use, eh?
I don't know if I'd use him for that. Piggy's scratching. Lena's looking on.
Oh, it's not good, she says.
Chillins are not good?
Chitlins are not good. Oh,
Not good?
okay.
Oh, okay. That's
Now
what I
I
thought.
stay away
See,
from
I
them.
told you.
If I
That's
go
what
there,
I
I'll
said.
just stay away from chitlins.
It'd be garbage. You know, you can't have pig guts. Fried or not. Boiled. Deep fried. Is it deep fried or fried?
But they also have all sorts of greens, southern greens.
Miscellaneous pig organs big in China. Yes, they are. Carrie doesn't have an accent. Actually from Missouri.
And Missourians, I guess,
Missourians don't have accents.
Who knew?
What kind of accent is it? Is it a West accent? Is it an East accent? No accent? Canadians are known for no accent. We're actually highly... look at these crows. These 5 little boogers have been hanging around here. Just 5. They're boogers, for sure, because they were hassling Peggy. I don't know what they were eating.
There's an excessive
Just the 5 of them.
crows everywhere lately.
Crows are everywhere.
It's weird. It's like the movie Birds is taking over here. I've never seen so many crows in the Lower Mainland my entire life than this year.
Crows in the cities are a lot worse to hear. We don't get as many, but in the cities, actually, when I was in Japan and we had a crow, there was a serious crow issue. They would literally, I think they do the same thing here. Oh, there's another one. They would go in their flocks. It's a murder. Murder of crows. They'd go in these murders. And there'd be hundreds, maybe even upwards of 1,000 or something like that would travel from one part of the city to wherever they were going to go, some forest part where they went and spent the night. And they'd come all back and they'd live on top of buildings and stuff. And they were terrible. Greens and cornbread. Yum, says Teresa.
Cornbread's amazing.
We like cornbread.
Yeah.
We actually do have a restaurant. It's, what's that one in Abbotsford?
Woodrow's Bistro.
Yeah, where's it from though? It's from
New Orleans.
New Orleans food. And they serve piles of cornbread there. And
Lots of people love cornbread, though. The pub I like, the Which Pub, is the best cornbread.
which pub?
I make cornbread.
We have a local pub that has cornbread.
grandma
Jen
used
says
to
she
make
makes cornbread. I've never seen her make cornbread though, so I'm not sure how accurate that is.
What are you talking about? Yes, you have.
I don't think you've made cornbread.
Yeah, Sophia's had it.
Did you make it out of a box?
No, my grandma.
Did you make it with corn?
It's cornmeal.
Cornmeal?
What you make it of. It's in my cupboard right now.
Do you put milk in it? Eggs? Some butter? Butter?
You add little
Teresa
chopped up
says she has a
jalapenos,
southern
it's
accent,
really
but she can't tell.
good. Oh.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? You know, you can't sell your own stuff, right? So, oh, Lena's back. Big white butt. I love that white butt. Yeah.
You like all white butts.
I don't love all white butts. You can't say that online.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Can't say that stuff. This is
Horse butts. Just horse butts.
horse butts. So, you know, yeah, new horses, training. Anyways, on with the day here. Let's talk about something brand new. Thank you very much.
Why don't you do your thing?
Let's open a box.
Okay.
We have a box.
Great
we got
segue.
changing the subject to something appropriate for all ages. We have a box here that we got from Sue. Thank you, Sue, I know we've been sitting on it for a week. It arrived well, about a week ago, I went to the post office and there's a box waiting. What is this? I got a box. Wow, I didn't order anything.
Present.
But it's a gift from Sue. Sue's put together something. Now I've opened up the box because I didn't bring a knife over. I just had it. So we're gonna open it. It's the first time we're actually going to look at this. So, I have Go Gadget Arms. Bam. So this is.
What if anyone knows what that reference is?
I don't know if they know. Okay, there's a little note. I think it's just a note. Sue says she's painted a picture.
Ooh.
It says, much appreciation for your videos, especially of Gracie.
Everyone loves Gracie.
Everybody loves Gracie. It's true. Thank you, Sue, for the little note. As I've always said, once in a while, we'll get something that comes through. This is the very positive part of this channel where, and I get a lot of emails. I mean, I don't talk about them nearly as much, but it's weekly for sure. I get at least an email that comes in, and it's well written. It's long. It's some person's story and how they've been inspired to do something, be something, change something, think something different, and it's always to a very positive effect. And these kinds of things are just a physical extension of these, in my opinion, of a very personal, whether it's our effort or feelings or emotions or something physical. It's a personal gift, and we're very, very appreciative of these kinds of things. It means a lot. So, anyways, without further ado, let's chuck this box open. Oh, right on. Thanks, Sue. We can't do without. I love that we could pop it. Okay.
Oh no, you can't.
You can't pop them.
You can't pop.
Yeah, you can't pop them. So you can have them.
Oh man. Well, that one you can.
It's a painting. It says Sweet Lena on the back. I'm excited. I love paintings. Whenever I actually look at the sky. Quick story, real fast story. Whenever I travel anywhere, I make an effort to go and buy a local painting. Oh. I always make an effort. I've got tons of paintings in the house. And some of them are prints, but most of them are actual paintings by some local artist. Off the street, usually. I'll try to find, and I get that they're sort of commercial-ish and they're done, but to me it represents something a little bit more personal than just buying a little statue, say of the Eiffel Tower or something like that. I prefer something that was done by somebody. Anyways, I love it. So this is going to be.
What she bought was hand-painted sketch of the Eiffel Tower instead of by an artist that was there. Instead of anything else.
Yep.
A trinket. That's what she bought as well. She has these two beautiful pencil sketches of
this
scratch.
paper and tape is probably. Whoa! Holy crap!
Wow.
That is really accurate.
That is a very good horse.
Yeah, that's really nice. I'll show you guys. Make sure I get
My
this
goodness. Yay! Sue,
So you're a very good,
incredible.
very good artist. Let me just make sure I get this in frame. You guys can see. Something like that. That's what, a little higher. That's what Sue's done. She's made a painting of Lena, which looks a heck of a lot like Lena.
Heck yeah.
That's incredible. I'll just put that over there. Yeah. Long forelock, long mane, soft eye. She looks soft there. She's very
Yeah, I
soft
love the
and quiet.
blue that she uses the side.
And the
like
background,
behind it,
the
yeah.
background blue. Sue, thank you. It's a
Yeah.
very nice painting. This will find its place on the wall.
But as we go in the shop with all your really
With all the other
stuff
stuff,
up there.
yeah. All the other stuff. It's up 2019. Jen Biggs. That's nice. Thank you,
That's
Sue.
beautiful.
Really appreciate it.
Very
I'm not surprised you were excited that we'd open it up because that's a really cool painting.
Oh, I love underneath the eyes.
So yeah, no, it's really well done.
Jawline.
Something like this, you know, I can't paint that kind of stuff. I wish I could.
I've always
So-
wanted to be able to.
I always wanted to be able to
Paint
paint.
like that.
And there's, oh, Lena's gone back.
I'll take a picture of
It
it.
was a meeting between the three of them too. Really was over saying hello. But you know, with the having an inability to do something, and somebody does something like that for you, has that much more value because you think, I wish I could do that, but I can't. But you've done it for me, and it's really cool. Well, stand up. Probably need to find a piece of wood or something.
Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
That figures it out.
That is well done.
That is really talented.
Yep. Thank you, Sue, very much.
Maria said she thought it was going to be a big white butt. That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Just Lena's butt. You just have to use no. You know, we wouldn't have to use anything. It'd just be a canvas with some brown hair somewhere in there. Everything else would just be white. Let's see. We got some. I think it's Brenda. Brenda says, my grandfather had a horse that ate watermelon and sweet potatoes. She lived to 17. It's not very old. 17. Watermelon and sweet potatoes. I've heard of horses eating watermelon. Our horses do not. We've tried.
Yeah.
We've tried, right?
We only tried with Luke and Willow.
Well, we might try
the old
again.
place.
We might try again.
They,
But
they ate a little bit of the rinds.
the rinds, maybe.
But that's about it. But most of them are pretty picky.
I heard
Willow
you
eats
can-
everything.
In the summertime, you can freeze a watermelon and put it out in a
We even
bowl
like
of some
cauliflower.
sorts. Teresa says it's really hot. We're getting temperatures of 94 degrees, which is 34 Celsius. More horses having a hard time dealing with it, but other horses handling it better. 34 is pretty hot, especially if it's humid. We may get up to that in our summertime temperatures. What do we get up to? 28 or something? I mean, it got
they're
pretty
24
warm.
to 25. But this year, for the first time, we got 28s to 32.
28s to 32s.
And that's very unusual for us.
It is very high. And if it's humid, which it wasn't, it was quite dry, it gets even worse. I haven't had a lot of humid days. It's been quite nice. Actually, today was perfect. I was out all day. Morning appointments, out and about, and then back here for the build that I was working on for half the day, and then horsey stuff and feeding and then dinner and so on and so forth. So never had a bit in her mouth. That's nice. That's good.
Me neither.
So, Sue says it was fun to do, but miss her hanging on my wall.
Yeah, I imagine.
Make another one. You're the one who painted it. Make another one. You could probably
Goodness.
easily replicate that. I mean,
Oh, sure.
that's no problem, right? Just
Like
kidding.
you have no idea. You could probably just make a couple of them. Hang them up for everybody.
Carrie says, have you always been so good with horse handling? Carrie, first thing, thanks for putting 2 stars ahead of it. I actually was going to put in a comment or something like a beginning comment that people might be able to see is any questions. It would be great if you could put like a ** question ** or something, because otherwise I might flick past it and miss it, and then you'd have to ask again. Jen, have you always been this good with horse handling?
You actually always have been. Yeah.
No,
would
I
say-
haven't.
You would say you have evolved. You would say you are always learning, and you look back and question yourself. But your natural calmness, your instinct to be gentle, all that has been the whole time I've ever seen you around horses. Always. Animals in general, in fact. I think that's why you're so good with horses.
I'm pretty good with animals.
Yeah.
And kids. Good with kids.
This used to be mine.
Zeus is
He's over there. Chewing on his bone.
chewing on his bone. And Carrie, it's a great question. I think that is there a PO box where newcomers can send you guys stuff? YouTube is my only access to see you guys. There's no PO box. There's actually just an address.
Send it to the house.
If yeah, the address is written everywhere. I don't think there's a place where it isn't written. Can you? Where's that battery?
It's
Right. Oh, it's holding that.
That's okay though.
I need to just plug in this phone. Hang on, everybody. I need a new cord, which is not in the gator anymore. Just give me a second to find a. I need the other cord for connecting this thing. It's the black cord. I need the white cord. The question I get asked, I've been asked to do an intro video of myself. I get the same question asked a lot. The handling of horses, or how long I've been at it and stuff. And it hasn't been, compared to a lot of people that are in the horse world, they've been around them the whole life and always loved horses and so on and so forth. That's not me at all. I have to borrow the battery.
Yeah.
No, we better not do that. It'll fall over and then we'll both regret it. I'll just put it somewhere else for now. That's not me. I've been around horses my whole life. I've definitely not loved them for evers and evers and all that kind of stuff. It's been much more an evolution over the past 8 years. I am naturally good with animals and children, it seems. I've never had a problem. I've never been overly inclined about kids, but when I was around them, I was tended to be playful and open. And the same thing, just let Mr. Motorcycle Pants go by. Why he needs to rev his engine is beyond me. Just to be noisy. The horses and kids are very, Jen was talking about, she was talking to somebody about how the things with horses tend to be the same with people. What did you say? People and horses are the same or something?
Yeah, I would say, with Nala's mom or grandma, that relationships and how you treat horses often applies to how you'd want to treat a person. Is there a reason why the horse is acting up? Probably you're doing something, or they're afraid, or you're not doing something that works for them. Is the reason why your child is acting up? Is it just for nothing? Well, probably not. They're probably tired, hungry, upset.
Yep.
Something happened to them. There's a reason. So if you think like that for both
Horses and kids?
Horses, and I mean, we were talking specifically actually teenagers, that a lot of people give teenagers a hard time because they expect them to think and rationalize like an adult, despite having so much physiologically going on and in their brain development that they're not adults yet. They can prove that scientifically. They don't have the rationale to think of it. So if you give that context to a teenager and accept that there is that little sort of less than rationale, can you help them instead of always being angry at them for whatever's happening? And same with horses, right? If you can understand they're scared or they're afraid or they've been mistrained or you're not communicating correctly, then you're less likely to get angry and more likely to want to try and help solve it for the horse. See what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That sort of stuff is you have to evolve to it mostly. I think that's more of a learned thing. There's a natural affinity or empathy towards animals and kids that exists, I think, for some people more than others. And there'll be a higher level of patience, maybe some understanding because of it. And you observe differently. So I think that there's a decent part of me that I think has that. And so it's made it a little bit easier for me to absorb and learn. And I was talking to somebody today about, she's having a little bit of trouble. And says, well, maybe it's the new place, maybe it's the horses he's hanging around. I said, no, if he's giving you a hard time, it's you. He says, oh, okay, yeah, I know. And we just talked a little bit more about how we always are affecting. our horses. And so you can have a, positive, neutral, negative, whatever effect, and go from there. So, so I don't think I've always been as efficient, that's for sure. I'm much more efficient now. I'm quicker. I recognize things before they happen so that they don't get as big as they used to get or be as much trouble as they used to be. And then in turn, I then can fix it faster. So in that case, no, as I always say, I think Jen said, I look forward to myself next year. Because I would imagine that I'm going to be that much better.
So someone asked about our first 3 horses, how you got them. Luke was first.
Oh yeah, P.O. Box from Alpha 58. Alpha 58. We don't expect anybody. Just said. But if you don't want to go searching it out on the about, there's the about page on YouTube. I don't know if it's on there. It's on Facebook for sure. It's on Facebook for sure, and then on the website. But I'll just put it in here real quick.
Anyway, so I was saying, first 3 horses.
First 3 horses.
We got Luke because we had Willow, who we don't have anymore, but she was a thoroughbred rescue, and we wanted 2 horses so we could ride together. So we got Luke and rescued him. He had been a return back to the rescue. Yes? You can't concentrate right at this
Luke was he was at a rescue place. It doesn't mean he was a rescue, but he was given to a rescue place once, and then somebody took him, kept him for a little while, and then brought him back due to him being too hyper or out of control or whatever. I mean, that's a real common thing for people to say. I don't look at.
Scooped him up, very young.
Yeah, he was only 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And
never been ridden.
He'd never been ridden, as far as we knew.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it.
He didn't seem like I started him and finished. Well, he's not finished, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And then we got Macaroni and Lena almost at the same time.
No.
Yes.
No, Luke came way before then.
No, I know.
I was moving here.
Macaroni and Lena.
Those 2 at the same time.
They are the same time.
Yeah, they were really
Luke
close.
Well, there's a big rat. Oh well, a mouse.
Where'd he go?
Just ran behind Lena's legs.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Anyway, we
Wildlife.
got those 2 together.
Yeah, they came together.
Not from the same place. Macaroni was from Barrel Racer, who found he wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, he's not. He's fast. Though.
Yeah.
He's quick.
He's very fast, just not as fast as his brother. So she kept the brother.
Yeah.
And Lena was another rescue that needed a home.
He was a rescue, needed a home.
So
I'll do a proper video, I think, one day. I have some ideas of how to do that.
But anyway, that's how we got our first 3. And then everyone knows Gracie's story.
Gracie's story, everybody knows.
Yet another rescue.
So, so that's about horse handling. I mean, and it comes with experience and time. So there's a P.O. box or an address. We've had a few things come through. We had Alice and Maria, and I'm going to forget somebody, and then I'll look like a real jerk. But Sue. What else did we get? We got anything else?
What's all that food?
That was from Maria.
Oh, yes, that's right. And
Alice's big one. Yeah, that was a really big deal. So curious to see. I think it's largely a personality thing. I think it can be a personality thing. Having the personality thing going on can speed things up. No different than somebody who's really inclined to Sue's a great example, to paint. I'd like to paint, but my mind isn't there. I'm more mechanical and stuff like that. So I might be able to fix things or build things. But the intricacies of paint and the imagination requires is just not really my thing. So I think you can be more likely to be better at something than nothing else. So yeah, personality thing for anything, I suppose. So yeah, I agree with that. Curious about the acquisition of first 3 horses. Well, there you go, Jane. Hopefully that answers your questions about the first 3. Luke, well, first 3, I mean, if we go all the way back, we'd have to go back to a horse that was a thoroughbred named Willow. She was very cheap, and for a reason. She's not around anymore. And then Luke, and then Zeus. Go get him then. Go get him. Teach that bear a lesson. or squirrel. It's a mouse, buddy. Go get the mouse.
It was not a mouse.
Or a rat.
Like a small raccoon size.
Raccoon size for rat. And then I guess the third horse was Macaroni, and then Lena. Macaroni was first, right? Roni was first.
I mean, neither of them. We got them both just before we moved into here, so they both moved at the
No,
same
Roni
time.
was first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came in before Lena. Because I remember it was just the two of them. All right, olives. You mentioned this before. We can talk about why you don't use a ramp when you load your horses. Yeah, sure. I don't have one. There you go. That's it. It's the easiest way to answer that. If I had considered, I'd been looking on Facebook groups and Craigslist for a trailer that was good enough to practice loading with a ramp. Hi, buddy. And I couldn't find one. I couldn't justify whatever the cost was. I mean, some of them were super cheap, but you know that you'd be replacing floorboards and stuff like that. And I wasn't gonna, wouldn't likely have traveled around, but I did want something that would have a ramp. I don't have a ramp one. I personally don't really like ramp ones because I don't like hauling the ramp up like that. I'm not a big fan of that. They're also incredibly messy. I've got a few people around me that have them, and their horse poops there, and then it gets stuck in the gap, and you got to clean that out before you can close it up. And what I would refer to as a normal trailer that doesn't have that, you don't have that problem. And so I just don't care to get one because my horses do just fine with a step up and step down for that matter. Huh?
I made a box. I don't want anything to get on it.
Like ashes and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. We shall put the painting away, Sue, because we want to protect it, which is a great idea. Because Jenny's making a big fire. So, you know, I would use a ramp just for training purposes because some people do have ramps, but I think horses do very well with ramps anyways than they do step ups. So I figure if I can get a step up to work, I could probably get a ramp to work just fine. I do believe it's a little bit easier for them as well because they can just sort of step down gently. But at the same time, I do think that they still have a bit of a struggle. I mean, let alone being in the small space, but stepping downwards, backwards. You can practice that on a hill and stuff. I think horses have a weird time with it. You know, it's like bears running downhill. They can't do it so well because their arms are shorter than their legs. So if you got to run away from a bear, now you know. Run downhill. Oh, Brenda left. Scratch golfer. 12. Let me get this straight. There were enough scratch golfers in here that 12 was the number to get. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a 13. I'm amazed at how much therapy horses have helped my daughter and granddaughter with PTSD. Amanda in Colorado. Hello, Amanda. Now we have a name. Finding you guys has also made a world of difference. You are more appreciated than you could ever know. It's two different messages. Thank you. Really appreciate that. It's horses in therapy. We had somebody come through on Facebook sort of questioning a lot on if we're a rehabilitation place for people because we don't have the great equipment for that. And the answer was no, not a therapy place for people, but there are so many instances. I mean, I can't even count how many people have just said, it's so peaceful. Yeah. It's so nice. Yeah. It's quiet. I feel happy.
It's relaxing.
It's calming, relaxing.
Meditative.
Meditative.
You just sit quietly with a horse. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to socialize. You can just sit with a warm, fluffy horse.
Warm, fluffy horses, especially in the wintertime. Yeah. So I appreciate that you say we're appreciated. It's really nice. We try to show the good side as much as possible of the horses because that's what they are. They are 95% great.
Yeah.
4% good and 1% a pain in the butt. What was what?
Did there something drop? Something dropped.
I don't know.
Pairs or anything yet, are there?
No pairs.
No, I didn't think
Literally.
so. Something just dropped.
The horses are incredibly therapeutic for all kinds of things. Sad, angry, frustrated, anxious, post-traumatic issues. You know, you get in a car accident, so you feel scared about things. You've been in a bad situation for many different reasons. I won't get into everything, but horses are really, really amazing for that. So, Teresa says she loves how Gracie does her floating walk. Gracie's very light on her feet, and I think a little bit of it is an Arabian thing, but some horses are just naturally floaty, and I appreciate it too. I love it. Love you kids dearly, and the horses too. Thanks, Amanda. Appreciate that. I don't know if we're kids. Do you feel like a kid?
Yeah.
You feel like a kid?
am.
You're a kid?
Old, but
I'm
a
old.
kid.
I'm so old. Carrie says, can you do more shoeing videos? Trimming, caretaking. I watch the ones you have and they are great and helpful. Carrie, I have, yeah, if you wanted to watch them. We did a live stream of Lena's trim a while back. I don't know if that would have come up if I'd categorized it in the playlist properly. Absolutely, yeah, we could talk about trimming and stuff a lot more. It's a difficult topic and a difficult thing to explain in video. And I'm always a little bit trying to be careful of how I go about teaching anything, because I don't want people to make a mistake when doing that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to think about. But at the same time, I was talking today saying how simple geometry is mostly applied when trimming. So I will talk about that more. Absolutely. Yes, I can. Carrie's got to go. So I don't even know if she heard that. All right. Let's see here. That'll do. And my trailer is straight in and back out. Yeah. Our trailer is a ankle haul. Some trailers, you've got 2 horses that can go in and they go straight in. And so that's a 2-horse trailer. It's almost all 3-horse trailers are ankle hauls from my understanding. Or they're an open concept where it's like a stock trailer. So each to his own. Zeus looks comfy. He is very comfy. Just hanging out, getting pets.
He was clean for 2 days.
He was clean for a couple days.
Yeah.
Zeus doesn't stay clean for very long. He's a very busy dog. So, how are we doing with all the slash? We're almost done, eh?
Yep. It's getting there.
So, I do want to talk briefly about something that had to do with that Gracie video, the live stream I just did, or recently did, yesterday. Just grabbing a few sticks to chuck on the fire. Almost done all of this crap. Urgh. Lena's come up for scratchings. That's good. I've got my quarterly insulting comment, and I say quarterly because it literally is. Maybe, Zeus, why are you chewing on my sticks? Wants to help. Once every few months or so, somebody will come through and say something crappy. Whew, that was a big one. And it reminded me again to sort of, for everybody out there that sort of puts themselves out there on the internet, or is thinking about putting themselves out there on the internet, but gets a little bit worried because sometimes there are not nice people. Well, one of those people came around. I've already deleted the comment because it's just not worth my time. And it's not what we promote here. Promote being respectful and kind. Right, Jen?
Yep.
Respectful, kind.
I didn't even know you left the comment.
Yeah. Somebody had decided to pop in and say that I didn't know what I was doing. And I should learn how to ride a horse or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
Really supportive.
super
Opinionated.
opinionated based on whatever they thought was horsemanship. And it was done on the video that I was doing training with Gracie. And I saw it pretty quick. I think pops up on my phone when if I happen to check my phone for something. And anyways, I don't think much of those ones. I think, okay, cool. Thanks for coming in to say nothing good. But my thoughts will go to those people because you hear a lot about people that, they might try to. I mean, I talk to people as well. I'm like, oh, I'm shy, or I don't want people to judge and say crappy things or something like that and whatnot. And I always talk about how amazing this channel is and how we use this channel as an example all the time of the positivity that can come out and be encouraged and brings in all the right people, essentially, and continues to bring in people. We're constantly growing. And so I sort of say, it's not all like that. Check out the comments that we get and the positivity and paintings and food and sculptures, jewelry, sort of, yeah.
Mine was.
Yeah. It's a necklace, yeah. Handmade stuff. It's really nice and thoughtful and personal, and it's not all crap. But once in a while, we get one that comes in, and this one's like, "Oh, you should learn some horsemanship and whatever." What I can't remember. I don't remember everything, but it was just essentially just saying I didn't know what I was doing, and I should go learn something. And so my thoughts went to those people that, if you were to ever kind of start something up or thinking about starting something up, and you're worried about people like that. And I've got two sayings that I want to convey. And one of them I'm going to borrow. I can't remember where it came from. One of them I made up. And the first one is that it usually goes that people that come in like that are just looking to do damage. And the saying is that hurt people hurt people. So they're coming in to try to cause pain. You've done nothing to them. There's nothing that you have, you've just insulted them with whatever you have done. And they've got enough pain going on that they need to dump it out. It's the garbage truck thing where somebody comes along and dumps their garbage, and it's up to you to pick it up or leave it. So you leave it. And that one's a good one. Hurt people hurt people. And so that person, goes away in front of their keyboard or whatever they're on. Maybe they're on their phone now. And maybe they feel good about writing that. Maybe they thought they could, oh, I told that person so, but you have to look at it it's not constructive, it's not kind, it's not respectful, and as such, it should have no value. And it leads me to the second thing that I like to say and teach is, as it goes with things like that, the way I sort of refer to it is that small people say small things about small things. And it's exactly what it is, I think. I think it's just a small person that's decided to come in and say something small. And it doesn't matter. It's not a big thing. It's a small thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's to be ignored, not to be worried about. Because small people don't usually say big things. If they did, they would have to be good. Right? Positive things.
Yeah.
Unless it's outright dangerous or something. But if you just kind of say you suck, that's not very big. That's just silly. So and that can apply for a lot of things. You hear about bullying in the horse world. You hear about bullying in general, I guess you could say. And kids in school and stuff, and you just try to teach that these people are not trying to be kind. It's not in their repertoire of communication. It's sad for them. Right?
Yeah. Right.
I know, I'm just thinking, I've got to get on with it. It's 10 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, people.
Goodness gracious.
Huh. All right. I will be back in a moment. Yeah, we should take that inside. Watch the fire. I'm back. Ginny has a very early morning. But I don't. I don't sleep that much anyway. So even if I did have an early morning, probably, bedtime's at midnight. All right. So yeah, so I mean, my point about that kind of stuff is it applies for everything. It applies not only just for online stuff. I mean, obviously online, I've seen a lot of people really fall apart with online negativity. Some people who take social media very personally because they put so much of their personal thoughts and feelings and stuff out there. YouTube channels can be very encompassing in somebody's both professional and personal life, and you can feel a lot. But it'd be no different if somebody walked off the street and just told me something and then walked away. I wouldn't think of that as anything other than just, what on earth did you come here for? That's it? That's the best you got? It's very shallow. Very shallow. So let's see. Zeus, yeah, okay. Consider the source and disregard the rest. Yeah, absolutely. Lisa says, you taught me so much and I love your kind, gentle approach. I think you have a special bond with horses not everyone can understand. Thank you, Lisa. I definitely feel even more and more in the last 6 months or something like that, maybe a little bit more. I feel a little bit like I'm starting to get it. And that's why, but I still always say, I look forward to a year from now when I look at myself and think, you didn't get it. No, now you get it. And then a year after that, I'll be thinking, nope, you still didn't get it, but now you get it. And I look at my evolution in horsemanship like that. And I'll walk up to a horse and I'll have a pretty good idea. I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And if they're feeling frustrated, if they feel like they don't want to be there, if they feel like they do want to be there, if they feel like they need to defend themselves, if they feel like they need to fall asleep, or if they feel like they just need some comfort. I'm teaching a lot of times now, as my teaching sort of evolves as well. I'll have people keep an eye out, and I'm doing a video soon about this, and I've touched on it, but talking about when a horse reaches, and it's very, very powerful. And it can really shorten the process of building a relationship with a horse if you can figure out and feel for when, and others will talk about this. You'll see it with some of the, I guess you call them higher end horsemen, like Buck Brenneman, or Ray Hunt's already passed on, some of the Dorns brothers, but those that have followed on. with some of their stuff. Warwick Schiller's a good one. And if you guys haven't heard of Ross Jacobs, you should check him out. But they'll talk about the feel and how a horse gives you, literally it is feeling. And I'm starting to refer to it as a reach. And they do too, here and there. You'll hear about how they'll sort of try to reach out. But sometimes they physically reach out in a very kind way, not in a biting way. So I definitely want to talk about that. It can speed up the process for sure if you can really be in tune with that, and even if it takes a little bit of time. So, Teresa says, angry people just want to make other people angry. Sadly, it's true. Misery loves company. Things like that. It doesn't matter. I've already forgotten your name. Alpha58. Amanda, yes. Says you can only feel sorry for those types of people. When Jen was talking about how horses and people are a lot alike, I think that as well. The angry people, you think, oh, so sad for you that you feel that way, or people who want to kind of bring other people down so that they're up. And there's a lot of sort of pity or sadness felt for those people. And I think that when we find the equivalent of that in the horses, it's the ones that are scared, the ones that feel like they have to defend themselves. And they're not a lot different than those angry people that are really just defending their feelings with a wall of frustration and anger. And for the horses, what I feel usually, it's just like, I feel sorry for you that you feel like you have to be scared in this situation. But don't worry, we'll get through this. So if I was a human counselor, I would probably think the same thing. Essentially, you're just horse counselors in a way. So I feel sorry for the horses quite a bit. The ones that are especially scared in their life, where they are scared of the silliest things. And silly meaning really just what we consider silly. Subjectively silly, like a tarp or a rope or the wall of a building or a car or something. You think, well, what are you so scared of? That's just silly. But to them, it's life and death, and you just got to feel sad for them. And so when you reach towards the horses in that regard, and you say, I feel sorry, sad for you. You know, you're okay. You can be here with me. I think that they also feel that. So back to the idea of feel. I'm just going to put a little more last of the stuff here. Got a whole gator full of wood. It's making this place is getting kind of dark. Put those there. Fire's still hot even though it's small. It's almost getting perfect for marshmallows. Chuck on a few things here and there. Just come around here for a second. So no different than these people that are frustrated and stuff. I sort of look at horses the same kind of way and just say, don't worry, I'll get through this. Everything will be fine. There. That'll brighten things up a little. So. And that will separate us from them. Let's see. Jane says the love you and the horses have for each other is apparent and effective. It is effective if a horse starts caring about whether or not you're... Actually, I was just talking about this today to somebody. And the one thing that I think separates the technique that I follow and the things that I do to what I see others doing here and there, or hear about, probably more than I see now, is that some people want the horse to follow them because they want the horse to be afraid of the consequence if they don't. I want a horse to follow because not because there is a consequence, but because there is a reward, but reward is a very loose term in this regard. I consider a reward just being good feelings, a peaceful coexistence. I want the horse to be searching that out with me as I search it out with them. So I don't want them afraid. I don't want to work them and have them work because they're worried if they don't do the right thing. I want them to have that time. So I always try to demonstrate that in the live streams. I'll demonstrate patience, have them search for the right thing, discourage the wrong thing, obviously. And if it's unsafe, then I'll be very discouraging. But other than that, and they'll start to care more. They will care more about you, I believe. So, Olives, what a nice comment. I believe that as well. I love how you work with horses. Translates to how we should treat each other. Thanks for sharing. Good night. And we really wish that we could always do that. And it's not always possible. We are, as they say, just human. Mistakes happen. With horses, it happens. With humans, it happens. So it's a real philosophical thing that we're kind of getting into, isn't it? My mother used to tell to ignore people like that because they're just jealous. Lori, yes. There's another saying that goes around. How does it go? It is about jealousy. There are people out there that see you doing what they wish they could do, but can't. Maybe they don't know how. Maybe they don't want to know. Maybe if they did know, they'd have to look back on the things that they do and feel remorse. And that's not an option. And so instead, they just are angry. But really, in reality, they're just actually angry at themselves, I believe. Or angry that you can do it and they can't, or I don't know. Jealousy. Jealousy is corrosive. So, yeah, people who, I'd say that your mom's right, that idea that if people are going to put you down for what you are accomplishing, what you are succeeding at, they're just not the people you want around anyways. And I'd say that live stream was 100% success. Gracie did great. I stayed alive. That's successful. Nanko. The world can learn a lot from Eckhart Tolle. Wrote bestseller, The Power of Now. You can listen to the audiobook free on YouTube. The Power of Now. Most people live with unresolved pain, hurt from past. It's true. Yep. Teresa says, I rescued my horse and you can tell he's been beaten. Just swatting a fly will send him off as he braces for it. Teresa, I have a suggestion. I don't know if you've done this, so I'm just going to make a suggestion. I've dealt with horses like that as well. Ones that are very head shy, you can't get anywhere near them. You can actually help them and resolve it. I wouldn't say reasonably quickly, it's a very subjective term. Sometimes it can be resolved within a day. Sometimes it might take a week, couple weeks or something like that. And then you'll come back to it a month later and just check in on it. But if a horse has been beaten with a hand, usually, maybe with a crop or a whip, I've dealt with many situations where I feel like the horse has had some kind of aid used in a disciplinary way. And a lot of times you can get them past it by using it not on them, but using it and having them stick with you and reassuring them while you mess around them. And the proof's in any of the horses here that I could demonstrate such a thing with, and you'd see that I could do things and they might be a little bit worried, but as I continue to reassure and say, I'm just sort of swatting at some flies in the air, don't you worry, just stand there and be good about it. And you pet them and you reassure them and you give that feeling of, it's you, not me, so don't sweat it. They'll get past it and they'll be so much better for it. So Not unusual though, so good luck with it. Get him past it though. You don't want your horse living his life like that, where that memory is the last memory. Have the fly swatting thing be a good thing, have it be a good memory, and end on that hopefully, right? Because to live their life in fear is no different than if you couldn't walk down the road without being afraid. And in some cities, they may be the case, and that's a sad life to live. So hopefully, you can find a way to get him past that, so he doesn't live his life afraid, despite his past. So, you never know. I mean, you probably see me do it in some of the live streams with a tarp or the ball. The one with Gracie with the ball, I think this might be a good one, but she's afraid of it in the beginning. But I just keep asking her to stay. I wouldn't force it, but I'd ask her to stay with me. And I'd let her move around a little bit. Whenever you're trying to get horses used to things, this is probably not for you, Teresa, but as for anybody that's listening, don't tie them up. Never tie them up. In fact, never tie a horse up. Time to teach them to tie, but if you can help it, never tie them. Because if you think about it this way, if you teach them to stick with you, you won't have a need to tie them up anymore. You'll just be tying them for the sake of tying them. So when you're working on getting them not afraid of something, allow them to move a little, allow them to escape a little, and draw them back. Always drawing, say, please come be with me. And they will. You'd be surprised how quick it works. And you just continue to build, and you take away those memories. Remove them from their memory a little. Maria says, a bit of a random question, but if Luke follows through on his actions and Roni is not confrontational, how is he the top gun? Excellent question, Maria. I rarely see Roni follow through. And there may be a side of Luke that just sort of concedes. He says, I don't want to take that chance. Maybe Roni speaks differently to Luke in that regard, but I think Roni's a little bigger, a little stronger, a little faster, and he's got the mindset of one that knows how to take leadership, but he's not looking for conflict. He's actually I find a very peaceful horse. I think he's led a pretty peaceful existence. And as such, he knows what to do, but doesn't really want to do it. And I think that Luke maybe concedes that. But I have seen some back and forth between the two of them where Luke has gone up above him for a little bit and Roni's had to move, and then it teeter-totters a little. They're almost equal, I'd say. It's very close to being equal. But Roni's got the edge. Maybe Luke is less inclined to kick out. And as such, of the two that are less inclined to fight or do something, Luke is a little less inclined than Roni. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm going to finish this up for the evening, I think. I really wanted to give you guys an update, do a little Q&A. Getting to all the comments as usual. I mean, I know there's a pile of comments I still haven't got to. And a lot of them are just positive compliments. But once in a while, you guys have some really good questions that come through. So I'm going to try to get to that. Anyways, other than that, I think, Nanko, thank you for that suggestion, The Power of Now. I think I might check that out. I always love a good book. I'm always reading. I don't usually have too many audiobooks, but I like the idea of audiobooks because I can do something else. Whether it's sort of cleaning up around here, something like that, I could listen to something and pay attention to both at the same time. So that's about it. Okay, unless you guys have any more questions, I'm going to call it a night. And I'll see you guys again hopefully tomorrow. I can't wait to show you guys what's going on at the back, which is where the construction's going on. There's something going on back there. But other than that, yeah, hopefully another horsey checkup pretty soon and some playtime in the arena. It's supposed to start raining a little bit. So anyways, thank you again, Sue, for, if you're still there, you are still there, for the painting. It's a lovely painting. It's going on the wall for sure. And you too, Teresa. Let me know how it goes with your horsey. If you get that fly swatting thing figured out. Lots of reassurance, piles. I promise you to get right through it. It'd be just a forgotten, long lost memory one day, and you won't be so concerned about swatting flies. Other than just, Mother Nature kicking in. And if somebody came up to you and swatted a fly at your face, you'd probably get out of the way too. But running for the hills, being really terrified, is a different story altogether. So, it'll be a good feeling. It'll be a good feeling for both of you. I'm sure of it. So. Okay, all right, you guys. Till tomorrow. Have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever's going on for you guys. I'm gonna head in. Just kind of chuck all this stuff in here and keep an eye on it from up high. And that's it for now. So, guess I got to get up this time to go on. I'm just holding my other phone. This is for my comments phone. But it's been great. Love these chats. It's wonderful having everybody here. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the fire. We haven't really been doing this much. There's not a lot of time. And it's been very dry, so we've been a little bit concerned all the same. But it's a little bit more damp lately, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we're okay. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to shut down right now.